it going, ladies and gentlemen? So today we are going to share a potential trade opportunity that we have taken, and hopefully it ends up continuing our way. But what that looks like is a bullish flag pattern. So a bullish flag pattern is basically an impulse move followed by a downward channel, like so. Then we make our downward channel. Price bounces inside of this channel and then shoots to the upside, right? Now we're kind of banking on it shooting to the upside. We did have a break of this top trend line, but price doesn't always do what we want, right? So it could potentially break to the downside. But like I said, this is a bullish pattern. So most of the time when we see this, price will continue up, right? Market's not always 100% though, so we can end up seeing a move down. But what that looks like here on the Great Britain pound of the US dollar is on the daily and weekly, we ended up having a nice support being formed right here. And then price it broke up above this resistance. Now it's a support. We came down, we're retesting it. And on top of this support level, we're seeing rejection, and we see on the lower time frames, we are seeing a break of this bullish flag here. Let's see if it would look better on, it'll look better on the 30 minutes. So we have our impulse move up like so, followed by our two trend lines like that and like that. Okay, so this is that impulse move up with our downward channel. Inside of this channel, we end up having price do exactly what we thought, bounce back and forth, and then we have a break right here. Right now it looks like we're kind of retesting that breakout, and hopefully we continue with that momentum going up, right? So on this breakout, we also had some higher lows being formed right here. So we had two higher lows in a row being formed inside of this channel, and then the breakout, right? So that's kind of showing that we're seeing that trend change. Instead of going down, we're having lower highs and lower lows being formed, but now we're starting to have higher lows and higher highs being formed. And if you know something about trend, it's when you start to get higher lows and higher highs, you start to get a bullish trend, right? So previously we had lower lows and lower highs. That's a bearish trend. And now we're seeing higher lows and higher highs. So we have a potential bullish trend going upwards following this flag formation on top of a support. So adding all those things together, we have really good confluence when we put all that stuff together to have a nice potential bullish trade here with great risk reward. So our entry, if we go here, we entered right on this breakout and retest of this little support zone. So if I draw this up, that's a circle. We have a nice little support right here. Okay. So price is retesting this little support on top of this trend line that we just broke out of, right? So our targets for this are going to be the high of the flag right up here. So if we go ahead and mark our tool, this was our entry. Our targets are going to be about 80 pips, okay? Now, that's a really big target for me. I'm just going to target 3/4 of that, because what we teach is we target 3/4 of the height of the pattern. And then our stop loss, for me personally, my stop loss is going to be underneath the lows down here, because we already broke out of this pattern. So if we end up breaking back in, then the breakout was invalid, right? We want a breakout, and then we want a continuation of that breakout. We don't want to break out and then have price break down inside of where we just were. That's just not following the momentum that I like to trade. So we're going to have about a 15 pip stop loss here. We'll do 20 pip stop loss, a perfect 3-to-1 risk reward ratio on this trade. Like I said, we already entered here, and our take profit is going to be at that level, and our stop loss is going to be at that level. So we will go ahead and check back in either when it's moving up towards our take profit or down towards our stop loss. So we'll check back in later. So we ended up pushing more bullish after this breakout. We rejected this support that we had drawn up and this trend line to continue upward. I ended up making another position once it broke above, but then got stopped out, and then I entered another position once we broke that top wick of that like continuation candle here. So this was my second entry, got stopped out, and then I entered again once we broke that top wick, because the momentum should have kept going once we broke that top wick. We did. Spread gave me a 4 pip like position above where I wanted it, but it's fine. We just had a little bit of drawdown, 2 pip drawdown on that position, and then we continued up. So we are closing in on our take profit here, and I'm going to be moving my stop loss in profits and then potentially even closing out sooner, because we have entered another resistance up here, up in this zone right there, and then this right here as well. So depending on if we break above this within the next couple minutes, will determine whether or not I leave it to come back into this zone or exit earlier than expected. So check back in when that happens. All right, so we ended up closing out of our position here with about 50 pips on our first position. We had -6 on our second, and our third position was about 30 pips. So 80 pips total, and it looks like it's continuing up. Would have hit our take profit either way. So that was that bullish flag that we talked about earlier. We had that breakout, and then we had that continuation push. So that was just a great example of one of the bullish flag patterns that we talk about in our upcoming mentorship course that we'll be releasing here shortly. If you guys like that, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'll be coming out with more educational content in the future, similar to this, simple pattern formations, future strategies that we use, and just simple Forex educational content. So I'll see you guys in the next one.